This guy, he almost died from taking testosterone.
I missed one of my pin days, so I did 300 back to back 2 days in a row. I guess yesterday I nicked a vein, so I got a little bit of a test cough after my pin.
And so in reality, he's doing everything wrong. Coach Greg, in today's video, another steroid horror story. This guy, he almost died from taking testosterone.
Another steroid horror story. Yeah, I almost died from testosterone yesterday. Or at least that's what it felt like. Let's talk about it. So you guys know I just got into my 3rd cycle, and if you guys saw my video on my blood work, I had extremely low testosterone throughout my entire TRT cruise.
Okay, first things first, if he had extremely low testosterone throughout his entire TRT cruise, then the testosterone that he was using was fake. How can you possibly be on TRT, that's testosterone replacement therapy, and have low levels of testosterone? If your levels were really that low, you would have simply increased your dose. Remember, when you're on TRT or HRT, the doctor is going to prescribe the appropriate amount of testosterone so that you're within the normal reference range. If you're below that, aka extremely low, you're going to inject more. But looking at his age, the fact that he's got sunglasses and a bald cap, you really think this guy has doctor-prescribed HRT, that he's doing this with the advice and consent from his doctor? I certainly don't think so. And so what I'm thinking is he's probably injecting fake testosterone that he got from the local dealer. After all, how else can you explain injecting testosterone and having extremely low levels of testosterone? Next!
That being said, I wanted to get my levels up quickly for this cycle, so I was doing Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 300 mgs each day.
He was excited to start his cycle to get his testosterone repped up faster than last time. And so his plan was to inject Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 3 times a week, 300 milligrams each day. Well, that makes no sense. What you would do if you really wanted to get the cycle started quicker is do a double injection on the first day. If you're doing 900 milligrams a week, rather than doing 300 milligrams on 3 different days, you would begin the first day by doing 600 milligrams. The more you start on day 1, the faster it's going to get in your system. The testosterone has a half-life. Various forms of testosterone have different half-lives, and depending on which you choose to use, is going to depend how quickly it gets into your system. I'm assuming he's doing Test-Sip or Test-Nth, as that it would be the most common ones that people are using. And so if he really wanted to get it into his system quickly, he could have used something known as testosterone suspension. It would have been in his system in an hour, or perhaps Test Probe would have taken him maybe 1 or 2 days. That would have quickly got him started. Many people will use various esters depending on how fast or slow they want to get the testosterone into their system. He may have wanted to use a mixed blend, for example, Test-Sus or Sustanone. That carries various esters from very fast to very short. And so if he'd injected Test-Sus on the first day, it would have got into his system faster than last time due to the fact it has very quick esters. And the slower esters, for example, Test-Nth or Test-Decanate or Decanoate, that would take him longer to get him in the system. And so by using Sustanone, you could have got the benefits of having Test enter quickly into your system, as well as the longer esters that will kick in later.
And that was all butterflies and rainbows until yesterday. I missed one of my pin days, so I did 300 back to back 2 days in a row.
And so he missed one of his pin days. How many people forget to do this? It happens all the time. Women with birth control or people taking supplements, vitamins, and so on, you simply forget a day. So he's decided to do it on 2 separate days with no break in middle. 300 milligrams on one day and 300 milligrams on the next. But listen, that's still not a lot in the grand scheme of things. I'm not saying that 900 milligrams of test a week isn't a lot. It's just that to do 300 milligrams with a longer ester and then 300 milligrams the next day on a longer ester, it's not really all that much. It's not going to cause some super crazy spike in testosterone that your body simply cannot handle.
And I guess yesterday I nicked a vein, so I got a little bit of a test cough after my pin.
And so in reality, he's doing everything wrong. If you're trying to start off the cycle and have it kick in really quickly, you're not going to be doing 3 shots a week. You're going to do a bigger shot on the first day and then go back to your normal dosing schedule after that. Now remember, this is just advice, and unlike Mike Israetel, I am not saying that I'm a doctor. As I've always said, I am not a doctor. Only do this with the advice and consent from your doctor. I am not your doctor, and never ever break the law.
And I guess yesterday I nicked a vein, so I got a little bit of a test cough after my pin.
And so he claims that because he did these shots back to back, as in 2 days in a row, that he nicked a vein and that caused him to experience a coughing sensation. Many of you have heard of tren cough. This is extremely common when using tren, but it can also occur when using test. When you nick a vein or an artery, the testosterone and the carrier, the oil, goes straight into the bloodstream and is carried to the heart. And so what then happens is in fact noted in the literature. Acute respiratory distress following intravenous injection of an oil steroid solution. And so what happened, it's known as a pulmonary oil embolism. And so with that pulmonary oil embolism, consider this. The oil essentially blocks blood flow to his lungs, so oxygen can't be delivered to the heart nor the body. And so that is what's literally happening. The oil is essentially blocking the blood flow from getting to the lungs where it's going to then pick up oxygen. If it can't get to the lungs, pick up oxygen and be transmitted throughout the body is going to be lacking oxygen, which is known as hypoxia, and you're going to suffer the consequences. The heart rate speeds up trying to get oxygen that the body needs to survive, and if it can't, you're going to shock. Eventually, you can die. And so what you'll notice is your heart rate is beating faster than last time. You're not running, but your heart is beating 120, 150 beats a minute. Also, you're going to start sweating. And so if you notice that you're coughing very hard, your heart rate is higher than ever before, and you're sweating, you're probably experienced this pulmonary oil embolism from doing a shot that hit into a vein.
So I got a little bit of a test cough after my pin, which lasted way more than 5 minutes. I felt it in my lungs all day. So I went, did my workout, felt okay, came home, ate, and that's where I started to feel like shit. I started getting weak, chills, so I hopped in the shower.
And so it lasted way longer than 5 minutes. He decided to go and work out anyway. But when he came back, he started to feel sick. He was getting chills. He wasn't feeling good. He had literally feeling like he had the flu.
Sat in there for 30 minutes, shivering. I got out, had to immediately get in like 3 sweatshirts, 3 sweatpants, and get in bed. I got massive chills, couldn't move for about 2 hours.
And so think of it, he's getting cold sweats, he's freezing, he's in a hot shower trying to warm up, he's getting on several layers of clothing, he's experiencing something known as test flu. I've experienced this in the past, never to this extent, but I have and do remember starting cycles in the past where as soon as I started taking testosterone, I actually felt sick. It's known as test flu. Have you heard of it? Test flu literally feels like you're having the flu. If you didn't know better, you think, I just got sick. Perhaps your body is sensing foreign objects, foreign chemicals being put into it, and it's fighting against it. Think of it. What happens when you're sick? You have a certain bacteria, virus, your body is heating up, sweating, trying to get rid of it. And so that's your body fighting an infection. And so when you're injecting a foreign substance into your body, the body doesn't know what it is, but it knows it doesn't like it and is trying to get rid of it. And so what happens? You perhaps get a fever, the cold sweats, you experience the flu.
Then I started sweating bullets, temperature of over 100, and just yo-yoing from temperature to chills, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all night.
And so his experience, he's getting hot sweats, he's getting periods of cold, hot sweats, cold, back and forth, living nightmare. He's thinking, what did I do to myself?
I almost went to urgent care, but I've recognized these symptoms before.
And so he almost went to urgent care. My experience tells me this. If you're worried, if it's a matter of life and death, always choose life. Choose life. If you're not sure what's happening, you did an injection, you perhaps don't have the fever, but maybe you have some serious swelling going on. Perhaps you have an infection. You don't know what to do about it. Go and seek medical help. It's better to go there and then say, oh, it's actually nothing, you're okay, than to not go there and then you're dead.
This is known as test flu. When an insane amount of testosterone enters your body, it can kind of freak out your immune system.
Now remember, it doesn't need to be an insane amount of test entering your system to trigger that response. You could quite literally be on HRT. Doctor-prescribed medications that your doctor or endocrinologist decided that you need. Even on these lower doses, you can still experience the test flu.
So yeah, I just kind of wrote it out. Luckily was able to sleep and then woke up this morning feeling like $1 million. So yeah, if you're a man and you're trying to experiment with steroids, be ready for things like this. Be safe, and now you know.
And so his advice, if you're going to take steroids, you haven't experienced these things before, be cautious of this. Be aware of this. With knowledge comes power. And I do believe it's much more important to tell people of the pros and the cons. Yeah, you can explain to people, you might build muscle, you might do this, do that. But it's also important to remember what can go wrong. Because what can go wrong is often worse than what can go right. If everything goes right, does it really matter?
It doesn't matter!
You're not really concerned with that. But what about when things go wrong? Anyone can handle the good, the positive. Yay! But what happens when things go bad? And so hopefully you've learned something from this video. You've learned about the trend cough, what can happen, the dangers of it, also the danger of that, and the fact that you can experience test flu, and it is not isolated. It's not a 1 in 100 chance. It's very, very common. I've experienced both of these things a number of times throughout my career. And so please, if you're natural, please think twice before beginning a steroid cycle. I'd much rather see you do it 100% natural. If you're trying to stay natural, consider you could be using G-Test to increase your levels of testosterone. Also, Turk Builder or Ecti Builder to try and build more muscle. Or of course, GO2 Max, the main ingredients, NMN, which has been shown to increase your endurance, your ability to recover, burn more calories, go faster, go longer than ever before. Interested in any of the supplements that I'm selling? You know I have way more than this. Or the cookbooks, the training books, the coaching plans by me and my team. Please use code GREG to save yourself 10% off. Click the link in the description. Subscribe, click the bell button. Did you like the video? If you did like it, please leave a like. Please let me know of the comments you have. See if there's any questions I can answer. Also, don't forget to watch those 2 videos. Don't forget about my Harder Than Last Time clothing line, as well as all the books that I have, training books, Circle Diet book, and of course, Cookbook 3.0, PDF and hard copy, as well as the free diet and training programs. Just head over to my website. Remember, it's free. Don't forget to become a newsletter subscriber. And until next time, I am out.